Thank you very much, Brent. You know, on the coaching lines tonight, we have completely contrasting personalities. We have Dick Crum of North Carolina, who in college majored in math and minored in physics. So he's scholarly, he's orderly, he's logical. He's a fellow who is outwardly unemotional. And then on the other hand, we have Serafino Dante Foge-Fazio. He's been on the staff at Pitt. He played at Pitt. He was a center and he was a linebacker, but now he's the head coach. And since he is the head coach, he's the man at the top. He has the responsibility for the first time, and there are pressures involved. And so we asked Foge-Fazio to tell us something about the pressures of tonight's assignment.
Well, I don't know about the pressure. Butterflies, yes. Anticipation, yes. A little anxiety, yes. I think that we prepared ourselves as best as we know how. We're relatively healthy. We're in pretty good shape. So we're just going to see what happens now.
We're all going to see what happens. And Foge-Fazio, for the first time, will be the man who will have the responsibility of what happens to Pitt. And now, here come the Tar Heels of the University of North Carolina. They are the visiting team here in Pittsburgh. And they are greeted as a visiting team is often greeted. It's our pleasure to have here in the booth tonight Pat Hayden. Now, you know Pat Hayden, former quarterback at Southern Cal, former quarterback of the Rams, Rhodes Scholar at Oxford University, recent recipient of a law degree. So with all of that background, Pat, tell me, who are some more of the key performers tonight?
Well, Lindsay, you know, we're going to hear a lot from some players we have not talked much about tonight. For the University of North Carolina, their quarterback, number 10, Rod Elkins. He's a man who's been 21 as a starter when he's been healthy. In the words of his coach, Dick Crum, he's a winner, pure and simple. He's a man that's going to have to take some of the pressure off Calvin Bryant by delivering some key pass completions to keep drives alive if Carolina's going to stay in this game tonight.
You know, there was a time when you could lose a man in the offensive line. Right now, we're going to see the Pitt Panthers come on. And, of course, they are being greeted as the home team, which they are. All the furor to greet the Pitt Panthers. But as I was saying, there was a time when you could lose a man in the offensive line, but that's no longer true.
Well, you're really right, Lindsay. You know, we are lucky tonight because we have great skilled people here tonight. But the offensive linemen have to do their job first before those skilled people get a chance to display those skills. For the University of Pittsburgh, they have two outstanding offensive tackles in Jimbo Colbert and Bill Fralick. They gave Moreno plenty of time to display his skills last season. And for the University of North Carolina, those offensive guards, David Drexler and Ron Spruill, opened many a hole for Calvin Bryant, and they hope they can do some more of that tonight.
Well, as you can tell, we are really ready here tonight at Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh. The fans started gathering here about mid-afternoon, and they've had a big night of it already, and we're about set for Pittsburgh and North Carolina.
I figure once ought to be enough to fix any car problem. I don't have time to keep going back and back and back.
Hi, didn't I see you in here the other day with a bad case of pre-ignition? Problem?
Nope, like your work, Mr. Goodwrench. Brought my wife's car in for an oil change and filters.
Mr. Goodwrench has genuine GM parts available, and GM-trained mechanics pledged to fix your GM car right the first time.
Keep that great GMP.
That'll be kicking off, and before they do, Pat, we were talking about key personnel. What about a fellow named Brian Thomas?
Well, he's a guy we have not talked much about, Lindsay, but he's a guy that ran for over 1,000 yards last year, caught over 40 passes. The Carolina defensive coaches feel that they have to stop Thomas first and foremost, even ahead of Dan Marino.
Pitt Panthers out there on the field to kick it off, and it's going to be Eric Schubert to do the kicking. Temperature is 71 degrees, humidity 64%. Wind is no factor. Eric Schubert is teeing it up. The tee is used in college football and a kick from the 40-yard line. That is Schubert, number 1. Dropping back, Mark Smith, number 45, and Ethan Horton, number 12, to receive it. They are along the goal line for North Carolina. The referee here tonight is William Parkinson. When his whistle sounds, Schubert will come forward. Places it down there on the tee. Only restriction on that tee is that it must be no more than 2 inches high. You can kick it off a bottle cap or an old shoe if you want to. Not many people do. All right, Schubert faces it off. He's ready. I'm ready. They're ready. It's in the air, and when it comes down, the season's underway. Horton at the 3 to the 5 to the 10, drops it, picks it up. Horton struggles but does not get to the 15. So the Tar Heels started 1st and 10, just shy of the 15-yard line. There you see Rod Elkins is the quarterback. Those are the troops. Sickles the tight end. Dick Crum's North Carolina Tar Heels up there in an I formation, but they don't stay in it long. Tiptoe wing left. Jones ahead of Kelvin Bryant. They're going to go to the air. Elkins is not going to go to the air. Decided he would carry it, and he got down to the 21-yard line. He picked up about 6 yards on the play to make it 2nd down and 4 yards to go. Michael Woods made the tackle. Now, he'll make a lot of them. There you see the defense of the Pitt Panthers, and it is a tough defense. Pizzulli, one of the toughest of that bunch. Middle linebacker, the Eagle linebacker, is the EB you saw. Those are the deep men. 2nd down, 4 yards to go. Kelvin Bryant moves to the left set. It's always well to know where he is. Rod Elkins back. It is held on to. Bryant reached and got it over there. Kelvin Bryant will be brought into the inbound marker now and spotted. There is Fudge Fazio. He got that nickname when he was a small boy. His father ran a grocery store and he couldn't say Fudge. He kept saying Fudge. So he got a nickname for life, Fudge Fazio. Ball is at the 24-yard line. Third and about 1. They give it to James Jones, the fullback. Carolinians are of the opinion that he picked up the 1st down. Bill Moss came in to make the tackle for Pittsburgh. They're taking a long look at the sticks. He's got it. 1st and 10. It's at the 25-yard line.
You know, Lindsey, North Carolina depends so much upon their guards. We should mention that David Drexler, their All-American left guard, has really had some injuries, has not practiced the last 2 weeks, and they depend an awful lot upon him.
Don't they, though? 1st down play coming. Lots of motion, lots of moving around. Kelvin Bryant, tailback, got 3 to the 28-yard line. That'll make it 2nd down and 7 yards to go. That was Charles Yogi Jones, who is back from an injury. He is from Denora, Pennsylvania. Well, they've turned out a lot of great athletes. Pitt, of course, the home team wearing the dark blue. They wear the gold on the road on occasion. Carolina wears blue at home. Carolina blue. That's Harrison in motion cross, going wide left. Elkins with the ball. Incomplete down the sideline. James Jones was the man he tried to get it to, number 48, right there. Bill Moss was the man putting the pressure right on the quarterback.
Lindsey, it's interesting how Carolina's coming out at the beginning of this game. Dick Crum has a reputation for being very, very conservative, but he's coming out here throwing some short control passes, as we talked about. Elkins is trying to take off some of the heat on Kelvin Bryant. He had incompleted that pass, but he's going to try to do that here, I think, early.
Alan Burris is in there at fullback now. That'll bring up 4th down and bring on the punting unit from North Carolina. He was trying to get it to his tight end, Doug Sickles. Big Doug Sickles from Springfield, Ohio. The punter comes in now, and that's David Lowe, sophomore from Anderson, South Carolina. Tom Flynn has dropped back center deep, flanked by Keith Williams and Tim Lewis to receive it for Pittsburgh. Like to get it to Flynn. Flynn likes to get it. He's got it. It's 28, and he's going nowhere. He stopped at the 28-yard line. 44-yard kick with no return. Eddie Colson made the tackle on special teams. And so now, the Pitt Panthers will get the ball for the first time, and they'll start first down, 10 yards to go at their own 28-yard line.
Toyota presents a truck that gives you the feeling.
The feeling that you got your money's worth.
The Toyota Standard truck with the biggest engine in its class, with 100 horses of pulling power, 1,400 pounds of carrying power. This Toyota truck was built to last.
And mister, there's a real comfortable ride built into this truck.
Now you got the feeling.
Somebody did it right.
Oh, we're feeling Toyota. Shape up.
At the Sears Family Fitness Center, it's our biggest sale of the year.
Shape up.
Now our 800-pound capacity weight bench with double leg lift, a fantastic $69.99. Our 132-pound weight set, $29.99. Our heavy-duty 20-inch exercise wheel cycle with timer and speedometer, $99.99. And our Wilson sweat separates, 20% off.
Shape up at Sears.
Fun, fitness, and savings. You can count on Sears.
Dan Marino is the quarterback. His receivers, principal receivers, are Dawkins and Collins, and they can fly and they can catch the football. The offensive line, Jimbo Covert, Pat talked about, and Bill Fralick, an outstanding offensive lineman as well. Pitt starts first and 10. They have the ball at their own 28-yard line. Will they go to the air right away? Will they try to establish a running game first? That's Brian Thomas moving back to the tailback in the I formation. He's number 44. Motion across, that's Collins. Play from scrimmage. Marino looks, pops it out in the flat, incomplete, tried to get it to his back. Brian Thomas out in the left flat. Short pass. Mike Wilcher, who is the attack linebacker, was over there. He plays the position that Lawrence Taylor once played. There you see the lineman, defensive, for North Carolina.
Marino's not wasting any time, but he threw that ball awfully hard. I think he's a little pumped up right now.
He can throw it through a brick wall, really. Going long, and it's Collins, incomplete. He was across the sideline marker. It was Collins, but he was across the sideline marker, which makes it an incompleted pass.
It was an awfully good throw by Marino. You get a look at some of his strength here. This pass shouldn't really be completed because it's against a double coverage on Dwight Collins. He just outruns it. But the ball's a little bit outside the shoulder, and he brings him out of bounds.
Greg Poole and Willie Harris were on the coverage. It'll be third down and 10 yards to go. Now, he threw that ball 54 yards in the air. It's a nice, soft afternoon's toss in the evening.
I used to be able to do that.
You could still do that. You wouldn't be broadcasting.
You're right.
Penalty marker. Whistle stops play. Flag doesn't stop play, but a whistle does.
Right. Good ball foul, illegal procedure on the offense.
That's 5.
We're going to penalize call. Good ball. Good ball.
It's an interesting thing that's happening here to Pittsburgh. I've watched them practice for a couple of days. They've had that same problem, jumping off sides or illegal procedure. They run a lot of quick counts, as that one was. And Marino, there's a lot of crowd noise here. The team, this is their first game. They're not quite settled down. He's going to have to slow it down a little bit, let his players get a feel for the game.
Marino has spoken his piece. It's 3rd and 15. McIntyre, the fullback, on the draw, and he gets it out there to the 37-yard line. It appears to be just short of first down yards. He got 14 and needed 15.
Watch All-American Jimbo Covert. As a draw play, all he has to do is knock the defensive man by, which he does. William Fuller is on a big pass rush, and Jimbo Covert just pushed him right by and allowed McIntyre to find a big hole there.
Well, they're going to bring out the chain to measure now. I think it's short, so that'll give Foge his first decision of the night. One would normally think that you just drop back and kick the ball away at this stage of the contest. Foge is a man who from time to time has the reputation of taking chances. I don't think he'll take this one. But he got a first down anyway. Doesn't have to. Doesn't have to. It was a first down anyway. So he didn't have to make that first decision. The Pittsburgh Panthers retain possession, and the ball is spotted at the 38-yard line. First and 10 for Pitt. Now Dawkins is coming to the left side. He's number 80. Collins goes to the right side. He's number 32. You'll see a lot of both of them all night. Brian Thomas moving to the tailback. The BT Express, they call him. He's got it. BT Express got to the 41-yard line. Picked up 3 yards on the play to make it 2nd down and 7. Mike Wiltshire again in to make the tackle. Now you see Foge Fazio, or you almost did, and Dick Crum along the sideline for the Tar Heels of North Carolina. Dick Crum is in his 5th season as head man. Came from the University of Miami at Oxford, Ohio. Marino. Out of time. Dawkins. Julius Dawkins gathered that one in. Didn't get much, about 3 yards.
Good patience there by Marino. They snuck in a nickel back there late when Marino stuck his head in the huddle. Sammy Johnson came in from North Carolina. But Marino was very, very patient, took his time, came off as primary receiver, and hit Dawkins for the pass completion.
I don't know, Pat, you're a quarterback. It looked to me that Marino was back there as though he expected to have time, that he's used to having time.
Well, you got some pretty good horses in front of him.
As you go. 3rd and 4. Marino, screen left. BT Express. Brian Thomas gets it up there to about the 47-yard line. Bill Shepard came in to make the tackle. And again, they're going to bring out the chain and measure. And I won't try to outguess him this time. I think I'll wait. I'm 0 for 1 so far.
Well, it's been 19 years since we've done this.
I've seen a first down between then and now, though.
It's interesting to your point, though. This is a position where Fazio, as a head coach, has to make these decisions now. Before, as an assistant, somebody else made them.
Sure. That's a little short. That's as short as I thought the other one was. Okay, Coach Fazio, the head coach, makes the decision. Do you kick it away? Do you try to maintain possession? And the crowd will always tell you, try for it, because the crowd is not under contract. Says, let's get the kicker out there. Greg Ganser is the punter. Greg Ganser, senior from Erie, PA. They had trouble deciding on who would be the punter. Greg Poole is back to receive it from North Carolina. Penalty marker. Poole calls for a fair catch and makes it at the 10. Now there's a marker to check up. So we'll check this one out. 43-yard punt, fair catch. Referee William Parkinson now. Man in the white cap. That is against Pitt. Cost him 5.
You're the captain. Refuse the penalty. The ball down there. To accept the penalty, 5 yards from here. What do you want? What do you want? Sack! Move the ball. Okay, I'll go. Don't tell me, tell him. Don't worry, babe. Hold it. Hold, time to hold. Time to hold. Hold, time to hold. Illegal procedure. Fourth down. Hold it.
Now, what it was, they had men come in with illegal numbers that did not report to the umpire. You must do that. That cost them 5. That is an illegal procedure. Okay, Poole, what do we do this time? No fair catch, and he got it at the 11. He already gained a yard. 15, 20. Greg Poole, 25, 30. Up the sideline and out of bounds. In the vicinity of the 35-yard line. Greg Poole on the return. Greg Ganser, the punter, was down there to bounce him out. 47-yard punt return by Poole, 25 yards. So the Tar Heels get the ball in relatively good field position at the 36.
When you need a little lift, but you just can't take a break, chew Wrigley's Spearmint Gum.
The cool, refreshing feeling of Wrigley's Spearmint Gum puts a little lift in everything you do. That nice, fresh flavor, that crisp, clean taste, that Wrigley's Spearmint pickup is going for you.
Wrigley's Spearmint Gum really keeps you humming. Wrigley's Spearmint Gum keeps you humming along. Wrigley's Spearmint Gum really keeps you humming.
16 million times a day, people everywhere enjoy a refreshing little lift chewing Wrigley's Spearmint Gum. The cool, refreshing flavor that keeps you humming.
It picks you up, it keeps you going. That spearmint feeling's coming through. That little lift, it gets you, puts a hum in everything you do.
Wrigley's Spearmint Gum really keeps you humming. Wrigley's Spearmint Gum keeps you humming along. Wrigley's Spearmint Gum really keeps you humming.
The membership of the National Federation of State High School Associations coordinates interscholastic activities programs for over 20,000 high schools. Millions of boys and girls benefit from the values of these essential activities which comprise the other half of education. The preceding message provided by the NCAA.
Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. Packed and jammed here tonight. Approximately 55,000 fans, although Three Rivers does not seat as much as Pitt Stadium, which is the home stadium here in town of the Panthers on ordinary occasion. First and 10 for Carolina at their own 36. That is Smith in motion across. Rod Elkins. Bill Moss was in there to pull down Kelvin Bryant, along with Pete Short. It is at the 35-yard line for a loss of a yard. It'll be second down and 11. Burris and Bryant are in there now. Bryant's in the wing, shifting out of the tailback of the eye. Rod Elkins. Couldn't find anything to do with it because J.C. Pelusi was surrounding him, as a matter of fact. Got out to the 34-yard line. Loss of a yard. So the stout Pitt defense has contained North Carolina for the first two plays of this series. They've lost 2 yards, and it'll be 3rd and 12. When Elkins has been healthy, Carolina has been 20-1, and that's strong.
Well, as I mentioned on the top of the show, Dick Crum speaks very, very highly of him. He's one of those guys that you don't hear much about because of all the attention that Kelvin Bryant gets, but he really is a winner. And that word sometimes is overused, but he's a delightful young man and really has done very, very well for him.
Clipping, 15-yard penalty. Here are the officials assigned here for tonight's game. And the referee is Bill Parkinson. As you look at your screen, he is the fellow in the white cap. The others are in black. Second and 25. And stacked up by Bill Moss again. Bill Moss with another big play for the Pitt defense.
We should mention that Pittsburgh's defense is ranked #1 the last 2 seasons, and you see a good reason why. You're looking at a pretty good tailback and offensive line. You don't get much surge there, and Bill Moss is there fighting off a block to meet Kelvin Bryant. Pittsburgh's defense has just been outstanding the last couple of years, and it looks like they're picking up where they left off last year.
3rd down and 26 yards to go at the 20-yard line. Taken in by Burris. Burris took the quick handoff. He got about 3 or 4, but the punting unit comes on now. It was Yogi Jones on the tackle. The punter is David Lowe. Tom Flynn is dropping back to receive it. So again, the Pitt defense is held. They have contained the Tar Heels. Flynn, 25. Lunges up to the 26, and that's it. 51-yard punt, return 1 yard. So now, Pittsburgh starts first and 10. Panthers will have the ball at their own 26-yard line. No score. Three River Stadium from the Goodyear Blimp America from Houston, Texas. Pilot is Captain Larry Chambers from Spring, Texas. And the CBS cameraman is Herman Lang, who has had more hours in the blimp than an astronaut. First and 10 at the 26-yard line. Ryan Thomas is the tailback. Dan Marino, of course, number 13 is the quarterback. The BT Express to the right side. Stacked up by Aaron Jackson, the linebacker, the outside linebacker, and Bill Shepard, the inside linebacker on that side. It is at the 28-yard line. A gain of 2 yards makes it second down and 8 yards to go. I asked one of Marino's teammates why he wore number 13, and his teammate said, well, I think he just likes to tempt the fates.
He's done a pretty good job of that.
Hasn't he, though? Double receivers to the left side. Collins, Dawkins. And Marino. Incomplete. Try to get it to his tight end, John Brown, the hero of the Sugar Bowl victory.
John Brown caught over 40 passes last year. He's the kind of guy who catches ball in the traffic, but not this much traffic. I'll tell you what, Mike Wiltshire welcomes him here to the stadium. It's a little tough to catch the ball in that kind of traffic.
I'll say. Marino is 2 for 5, 6 yards. Third down play. Marino. Over the head of Ryan Thomas. So that brings on the punting unit. As Pitt will have to give it up. We have 7 minutes, 41 seconds remaining to be played in the first quarter as Coach Fazio, the head coach of the Panthers, looks on. The first day that Johnny Majors reported to Pitt as a head coach coming from Iowa State, he was met by Coach Fazio, who took him to meet a ball player named Tony Dorsett. What a way to start a coaching career, or a coaching assignment. Coach is a master recruiter, always has recruited a good many of the key ball players on this squad.
Like Danny Marino.
Marino, right. Greg Ganser's the punter. Whistle stops play. Delay. Is Mark ready for play? 25-second clock starts.
Yeah, you can tell these are first games. You're seeing a lot of little mental mistakes here by the University of Pittsburgh. And North Carolina can't seem to get things going. Dan Marino, who's All-American quarterback, seems to be a little bit off. It just takes a while to get a feel for a football game.
On the offense, fourth down.
Fourth is about 14 from the 22-yard line.
Ganser gets it off. Poole waits. Fair catch signal goes up. Poole has it at the 33-yard line. They'll start first and 10 at their own 33. There is no score in the ballgame. That was a 44-yard punt and a fair catch. We want to call your attention to the NCAA today, the season premiere coming on Saturday, September 18th. Brett Musburger, of course, will be your host. Ara Parsegian will be a regular member of the cast. And by the way, Ara Parsegian is here tonight and will be seen at halftime. Matt O'Brien also joins on this initial show and will be seen throughout the season. No score in the ballgame, first quarter. Elkins hands it off. Taken by Ethan Horton. That's Dick Crum, head coach of the Tar Heels. Pete Short was in there on that last tackle.
Ethan Horton's an interesting story, Lindsay. He was a quarterback a couple of years ago, but he played when Kelvin Bryant got hurt last year. They asked him if he wanted to move back. He said, no, thank you.
He likes the running back, and he's a good one. He's in the left set just there, number 12. Second down and 8 yards to go, and there's Rod Elkins. Up the middle, complete. Struggled up near the 45-yard line. That was Doug Sickles, the tight end.
A good call here. We see Elkins trying to hit his tight end right in between a couple of defensive linebackers. He's just going to sit down there right in the middle. It's a short, safe pass. He gets the ball, turns upfield, which is the best thing he can do. But it's a nice, safe, short pass, the type of thing that Rod Elkins is going to have to continue to do to get the first down, so you can change movement, get something going here.
You can't win football games without field position. Carolina has it for the first time now. Absolutely. Up near midfield. Ethan Horton is the tailback in the I formation. And he got it. Ethan Horton. Michael Woods was the hit man. Number 44, of course, is Kelvin Bryant. Now, Kelvin Bryant is frequently spelled. He doesn't play long stretches. He's in and out of the ball game. That's the fullback who started the game with him, James Jones, with whom he shook hands there, number 48, because Burris is in at fullback now. Second down and 10 yards to go. It is Ethan Horton. He got it to the 47-yard line. J.C. Pelusi in to make a tackle. Last year when Foge Fazio was the defensive coordinator, he liked to kid his unit about being a no-name defense. He would say, what is a J.C. Pelusi? Third down and 8 yards to go. Horton's in the left set. Elkins. Well, he decided to run it up the middle. Got it to the 49-yard line. And Chris Dolman was there. He's back off an injury. Winglikowski and Dolman are expected to split that position. Hunter comes into the ball game. It's David Lowe. Flynn drops back. Tom Flynn. They have all-star aspirations for number 5, Tom Flynn. He's all over. He's a great safety man. Lots of time, all the time in the world. Well, Flynn hit the deck. Ball is killed down there about the 3 or 4 yard line. 42-yard punt, no return.
Somebody got a little anxious.
Didn't they, though?
Well, this is one way to stop a return. You tackle the guy before he catches the ball, but this is obviously illegal. Tom Flynn, All-American free safety, is waiting to catch the ball. Now, he's got every right to do that, and they have to give him 5 yards, which was clearly Colson. Eddie Colson made the contact there before he had an opportunity to catch the ball.
Interference on the kicking team. 15-yard penalty. First down.
He must be given an opportunity to catch the punt. He wasn't. It's 1st and 10 at the 29-yard line. So Pitt has better field position than they would have had otherwise because the coverage was all around Flynn. 4 minutes, 42 seconds left in the first quarter. There is no score in Pittsburgh. McIntyre, penalty markers thrown back behind him. Willie Harris, strong safety from Wilson, North Carolina, made the tackle.
This may be the new Dan Marino. He had a problem last year with trying to force the ball downfield a little bit too much. You're seeing him being very, very patient. His receivers are covered downfield, so he just drops it off to one of his backs. It's a very safe pass. It's almost like a running play.
Well, his offensive line gave him a lot of help. As a matter of fact, they gave him so much help they were holding. 4:18 remaining in the first quarter on the clock. As you look at the scoreboard, Marino said, what's this all about?
A tough time getting started here. But let's give North Carolina's pass defense some credit. They've got a good scheme. They're dropping people. They're not really trying to put much pressure on Marino because people have been very unsuccessful trying to put pressure on Marino. I think he was sacked only 13 times last year. So they're dropping back in coverage, letting Marino dump the ball off, and then coming up and try to converge on the backs for short gains.
Carolina's had 2 penalties for 30 yards, and Pitt's had 4 for 25. First down and 20 yards to go. Handoff. Taken by Marlon McIntyre, number 3 at fullback. Coach says, no, don't do that. Do something else. William Fuller in to make the tackle. Fuller is an outstanding tackle, as a matter of fact, for Carolina. Jack Perry's on the other side. Look at the size of that offensive line, and not only that, they line up shoe to shoe. It's like a wall in there.
Good point, Lindsey. They're very, very close to one another.
Marino up the middle. Big John Brown, the man to whom he threw in the closing seconds of the Sugar Bowl game for victory last year. On New Year's Day of this year, Chris Ward made the tackle along with Greg Poole.
Downtown John Brown. I don't think he's the first one to use that nickname, but that is his nickname. It's amazing the way they spread the ball around last year and had 3 receivers catching 40 passes.
3rd and 9 on the 30-yard line. Marino. Oh, my. That time it was Carolina that had him in there. And it was Mike Wilcher, the attack linebacker, who got there first. Loss of 11 yards.
This is something that did not happen much. Marino's always had great protection, but you're going to see Wilcher, and there's a Jack Perry coming in, but Wilcher comes from the inside. It's a little stunt. He puts the pressure on him. Aaron Jackson finishes him up. It's interesting because Marino has not had much pressure, did not have much pressure last year on him.
Since it is 4th and 19, Kansas in to do the punting, and Poole is deep. He's standing at his own 40. He's got it at his own 40. Poole to the 45. Tries to come right. Penalty marker, penalty marker. Penalty marker on the play. 41-yard kick returned 8 yards. There'll be a penalty marker to be checked out. Darnell Stone was the man who cut him down. They're still in consultation. Clipping on the run back against North Carolina. That is the preliminary indication. Dick Crum said what on the what?
A little unusual because Dick Crum's teams are so well prepared, well coached. Their special teams have really been so good to them over the years, and it surprised them to see them have so many problems here on the kicking game.
Since it occurred on the run back, it'll be 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line. So Carolina does not have the position.
Clipping on the receiving team. 1st down.
They do not have the position that they thought they would. And we're getting the timeout signal, so when play is resumed, the Tar Heels will have the ball. They'll have it 1st and 10 at their own 33. There is no score. They started on their own 15-yard line. Now we've had 6 possessions, and they're up there now at the 33-yard line. So Carolina has been edging up with their field position just a little better. But for the clipping penalty, it would have been considerably better, but they start 1st and 10 at the 33. Time remaining 2:24 in the first quarter, no score. In case of each team getting possession and having to kick. Leaders pass up to the 41-yard line. Calvin Bryant was tackled by Michael Woods.
Just another safe pass by North Carolina. They respect Pittsburgh's defense. You can see that. He's trying to get Elkins some confidence, get rid of the ball right there to Kelvin Bryant in the flat. He almost breaks a tackle for a big game, but a short, safe pass. They're 2nd and 2 now.
2nd and 2 at the 41-yard line. As you see Kelvin Bryant. That's Smith in motion all the way across. Give it to the fullback instead, and that's Alan Burris. J.C. Pelusi made the tackle.
Alan Burris, he's kind of a funny guy, Lindsey. He had a 700-mile bike trip a couple summers ago. We had an opportunity to talk with him down in Chapel Hill. Delightful young guy.
He was going to go last summer on a Black Panther hunt. But knee injury prevented that. He can find all the golden panthers he wants out here tonight. He doesn't have to go on a hunt.
You're right.
That's Horton. Ethan Horton, and he was closed off at the pass. They only needed a yard, but he didn't get it. Michael Woods and Yogi Jones made the tackle for the Pitt Panthers.
So this is good defense again. This is Carolina's base play. Just an off-tackle play where they try to kick out with the fullback. But I'll tell you what, Dave Pelusi's right there with Michael Woods to make a play. There's just no room to run.
So on 4th and 1, the punting unit is in. David Lowe will be punting to Tom Flynn. Well, they rolled it back there. But it's up. Penalty marker back downfield. Flynn is at the 16-yard line. But there's a marker to be checked out. 42-yard punt return to yard. Roughing the kicker will be the apparent call.
I think Mr. Mass realizes he did it. He knows he did it. He's coming in right here. The ball is clearly away. He's not even blocked in, and when he comes in, it hits him very late.
Bill Moss, 71.
Nice acting job there. He's still pleading his case.
Bill said, who, me?
He's too big to hide.
2, 3, 8, 13, 14, 15. Good move. Roughing the kicker. Won the defense. Won a man's first down. 15 yards.
First and 10. That could be one of the big early breaks of the ball game as the ball goes to the 43-yard line of Pitt. It's North Carolina's third first down. Pitt has one. We have 29 seconds left in the first quarter. There is no score. But now Carolina has set them out its most serious drive of the ball game. Elkins, short drop. Smith could not hold on. Mark Smith, 45. The incompleted pass stopped the clock with 25 seconds left in the period. Second down and 10 yards to go. It is artificial turf here at Three River Stadium. It is the home of the Pittsburgh Pirates, and so there are areas that have been patched over. Baseball was played here last night, as a matter of fact. Okay. Completed. Down to the 30-yard line. Got it to the big tight end, Doug Sickles. Tim Lewis on the time. 12-yard gain. Making a first down and 10 yards to go at the 31-yard line.
Fine throw by Elkins, a good patience. He came back to that play. He was a little unsuccessful with the same play a few plays earlier. He came back to it. Sickles ran to an open zone. Elkins delivered the ball right on time and gave Sickles a chance to run with the ball after catching it.
Clock is running, and we have now 5 seconds left, so we may not get this one off. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2, 1, and that is that. They do not get it off. Whistle stops play. And that is the end of the first quarter. So at the end of the first period here at Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh, the score is Pittsburgh nothing and North Carolina nothing.
The high-speed roads of
In Pittsburgh as we start the second quarter, North Carolina has the ball. Elkins completes the pass near the 26-yard line. Kelvin Bryant. Manak made the tackle.
What's really been amazing here is North Carolina is a team that basically lives by the run, and they just have not been successful running the ball. Bryant's has carried it 3 times for 3 yards. They're only averaging, I think, 1.8 yards a carry. They're asking Rod Elkins to do a little too much. Bryant's going to have to jump through there at some point.
Second down and 5 yards to go over the Tar Heel. Got that one to the tailback, Kelvin Bryant. Kelvin got it to the 22-yard line. Bill Moss in to make the tackle. Fazio. Going to be third down and a yard to go. Think it over, folks. Jones and Bryant are the setbacks. Elkins puts it up and going long to Bryant in the end zone, incomplete. Got it right down to the pylon. 4th and 1.
Interesting call for a normally conservative coach. You were trying to fool Tim Lewis, the cornerback of Pittsburgh. They obviously did not do that.
Brooks Barwick, the field goal man, has come on the field now. Brooks Barwick right there, number 4. And this will be a 39-yard attempt. Stankiewicz is in the hole for him. His longest is 35. He's trying at 39 here. And it's good. Barwick has a 39-yard field goal. And the Tar Heels of North Carolina are on lead. The Golden Girls of Pittsburgh whoop it up for the Panthers now as they trail by 3, and North Carolina will kick it off. Bob Rogers will kick from the hash mark left. Darnell Stone and Tim Lewis have dropped back to receive it for the Pitt Panthers. Here comes Rogers. The Lewis side of the field. Went out of bounds and so it'll have to be kicked over. Went out about the 2-yard line. No return, no touch. Both of these teams, of course, are deep in college football traditions. North Carolina and Pittsburgh. North Carolina coached by Dick Crum, a native of Ohio, a native of Youngstown, as a matter of fact. And here is Bode Fazio, the 29th coach at Pittsburgh. Jock Sutherland, the most famous coach ever here, although they had Pop Warner and Clark Shaughnessy and Johnny Majors and Jackie Sherrill.
Did you know all those guys personally?
Not really. I knew some of them personally.
When Pittsburgh gets the ball here, Lindsay, it's time for these great skill players of Pittsburgh to do something with it. They don't need a big touchdown, but they need a 10 or 15-yard play to pick them up.
Rogers with a kickoff. Again, the Lewis side of the field. Lewis at the 7-yard line. Jim Lewis to the 10, to the 15, to the 20. And stop at the 22-yard line where the Panthers start first and 10. 15-yard return. One thing about it, though, Pat Hayden, is we all know that any moment the Panthers are capable of pulling off the big play. 3 of 7 for 15 yards so far tonight.
Yeah, but you're right. That does not tell the story. He is very capable. They've got tremendous skilled people in Dwight Collins, Julius Dawkins, John Brown.
Dawkins to the left side. He's number 80. Collins to the right side. He's number 32. McIntyre, the fullback, number 3. Marino gets it to the tight end, John Brown. Right at the 30-yard line. Bill Shepard made the tackle. Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. Second down.
We're looking there at John Brown, Lindsay. You know that catch he made in the Sugar Bowl last year, they call it the catch now. It's just not any catch, it's the catch.
Certainly hit at the time. Second down and 3 yards to go here. Ryan Thomas got to the 31-yard line. Shepard again made the tackle.
Third down. Third down about a yard, man. 3rd and 1.
We're at Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh, and North Carolina is leading Pittsburgh by a score of 3-0. We have 12 minutes, 56 seconds remaining to be played in the first half of this ball game. It was a 39-yard field goal by Warwick that put the 3 points on the scoreboard. It is 3rd down and that far to go. 3rd and short. McIntyre. I think he got it. As he stepped across. First and 10, says the word of the field. Mike Wiltshire ran him out.
Tell you, got that first down because he got a great block from Brian Thomas. Just show you some of the versatile skills that Thomas has.
McIntyre has carried 3 times for 20 yards. Now it is 1st and 10, and the ball's at the 34-yard line. They're sending Dwight Collins far to the left side, and Julius Dawkins far to the right side. Marino. Penalty marker goes down. Julius Dawkins made the catch. He got it up to the 38-yard line. Chris Ward made the tackle, but we'll have to check out the penalty.
77. Illegal use of hands on 77. Blue.
You got it? Ron Sams is 77.
Previous one.
Illegal use of hands. And that is 5 yards. 15 at the 30-yard line. Marino looking around, number 13 as he brings him up, a native of Pittsburgh, native of the Oakland section of Pittsburgh. Now it's a motion across. Now the delay. Marlon McIntyre. Big Mac. Got it to the 38-yard line. Greg Poole off the corner made the tackle.
Second down.
We're going to take a look at Bill Fralick. We got a little draw here. He's a big, big man. Just pushes Jack Perry out. He is 6'5", and he's 280 pounds. He buries him. He's on top of him. I don't think that man eats much quiche. Do you, Lindsay?
I think you're right. Skidding a little bit as he sets up. The pass goes to the BT Express. Aaron Thomas got the first down. So now the Pitt Panthers have moved into Carolina territory on that 13-yard gain. Sammy Johnson made the tackle.
Well, I am really amazed that Carolina still putting a lot of pressure on Dan Marino. Watch Mike Wilcher come in here. Danny Marino has to step around. He slips a little bit, but does deliver the ball. Here's Brian Thomas, a very valuable player. Lets a guy slip by right down the sideline. Big play.
Another big penalty also against North Carolina. Penalty tacked onto this one. Going to put the ball at the 33-yard line of North Carolina.
Foul on the defense. The late hit out of bounds. First down.
We saw Danny Marino slip on that last pass. Maybe this is the reason why. He's wearing some basketball shoes there. I don't know what kind of basketball player he is.
Late hit out of bounds makes it 1st and 10. Pitt at the North Carolina 33-yard line. Running backs in an I formation. Byron Thomas. The lead back, but that's McIntyre. The up back who got it returned to the 30-yard line. Again, 3 yards on the play. 2nd and 7. Steve Fortson on the nose made the tackle for Carolina. The plays are sent down from the offensive coordinator upstairs. Joe Daniels calls the plays, relays them down to the sideline, and then they are wig-wagged out to the quarterback, Dan Marino. Lone setback is McIntyre. That is Marino. Whistle.
64 on the dead ball foul. 64 offense.
Better.
Dead ball foul. Illegal procedure on the offense. Second down.
North Carolina's had 6 penalties for 65 yards, and Pitt's had 7 for 50.
Well, it's been kind of a sloppy game so far, Lindsay. And those are the kind of mistakes that can really hurt a drive. Looks like Marino was trying to audible there, and Fada didn't quite catch it.
2nd and 12 at the 35-yard line. They're on a slide left. Marino. John Brown at the 29. And a 6 yards on the play will make it 3rd and 6. Willie Harris made the tackle.
3rd and 6.
John Brown has figured heavily in Pitt's offense so far. Carolina's been double teaming Julius Dawkins and Dwight Collins. It just goes to show you how well Danny Marino reads coverages. When they do something like that, you have to get the ball to your tight end and your halfback. That's exactly what Danny Marino has done.
John Brown is being given a little rest now. He's been replaced by Clint Wilson, number 84. Marino is 6 for 10, 42 yards. And now, a timeout. Timeout Pittsburgh. Marino comes to the sideline to check with the coaching staff along there. North Carolina's leading by a score of 3-0. We have 10 minutes, 6 seconds left to play in the first half in Pittsburgh, PA. Carolina are leading Pitt by a score of 3-0. Tight end John Brown has just gone out of the ball game with a bruised shoulder. He's been, well, he was out for a short while and came right back in just now. He's 3 for 23, so he's back in there. During the timeout, he had come out. Wilson had replaced him, but now they make the change again. Big play coming here. 3rd and 6. 29-yard line. Marino. Intercepted. At the 7-yard line, it's Hendrickson. Steve Hendrickson picked it off. So Marino has been intercepted by the Tar Heels, and there's the man who did it.
It looked like he audibled here. He was trying to get down, receiver down into the seam. He delivered the ball. I don't know what happened to the receiver, but he must have overthrown him. Steve Hendrickson's right there. Dwight Collins just coming. He just led him a little bit too much. Big defensive play.
So now the Tar Heels get the ball to get it deep in their own territory as they talk it over along the sideline. The offensive unit of Pitt off the field, of course. Elkins still quarterbacking the Tar Heels. Penalty marker goes down. James Jones trying to come left. But there's a marker to be checked out. Bill Motts was there on the tackle along with Cranick.
Hold it. Hold it. Go, Bill.
Fazio. The pressures of being the head coach.
Well, he's got to be a little frustrated, Lindsey, because he's the guy now that's going to get blamed for all the quarterback missed throws and the offsides and the penalties. It's a different position he's in now.
11. You take the
Danny Marino, although he led the nation in touchdown passes last year, he also led the nation in interceptions, and it's been the one problem he's had in trying to force the ball. But let's face it, he throws the ball a lot, makes an awful lot of big plays, and has a great deal of confidence in his arm. But sometimes that confidence can lead to some interceptions like we just saw.
He's talking to the fellows upstairs now, getting information from the guys up at the press box level.
They're saying our guys are in dark blue.
You look from behind the offensive team now. That's Ethan Horton, number 12, the tailback. Second and 11. Pitt defense was right there. Ethan Horton carried, but got nothing. Took a loss on the play. It's at the 4-yard line. Third and 13. That's Coach Crum. Third and 13 at the 4. From the end, no, the handoff. Calvin Bryant ran it out. Got it out as far as the 10, but that'll bring the punting unit on the field now. Michael Woods made the hit. So that means that Carolina's going to be punting from the end zone this time. David Lowe back to do the punting, sophomore from Anderson, South Carolina. Tom Flynn has dropped back near midfield. They're going to rush 10. Got to put the pressure on the punter, David Lowe. Well, they don't actually. They peel them back. They line them up. At the 47-yard line of Carolina, Flynn. He's out for the 42-yard line, and he stopped there. 37-yard punt, return 5 yards. So now it is Pittsburgh with very excellent field position. They trail by 3 points. They get the ball first and 10 just outside the 42-yard line of North Carolina. We have 8 minutes, 20 seconds remaining to be played in the first half in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has the ball outside the 42-yard line of North Carolina. Coming into this ballgame, the Carolina defense figured that it would have to use its quickness to combat the size of the Pittsburgh offensive line and backs. Well, how long can you do that? We'll find out very shortly because Pitt has the ball. Collins are the setbacks. Marino drops back, steps up, goes on the run, and it is intercepted. Deflected and intercepted by Carolina, and returned to the 41-yard line. Mike Wilcher. Mike Wilcher. And so North Carolina has its first and 10. Second interception.
Boy, this is tough. You have first and 10 in great field position. We see Julius Dawkins just pushing by Greg Poole to double zone here. Again, Danny gets a little bit impatient, trying to hit Don the Brown. That the ball is tipped in the air, and the ball is intercepted by Wilcher. Wilcher's also has put a lot of pressure on Danny Marino when he's thrown the ball.
And now Elkins is dropping back. He's going to run it. 45. Rod Elkins to the 45-yard line. Picked up 4 on the play. It'll be second down and 6.
Second down, David.
Lazuli made the tackle from Stamford, Connecticut. Marino has been intercepted twice.
Yeah, and he just got to collect himself here. He's just...
Has it first and 10. Second interception.
Boy, this is tough. You have first and 10 in great field position. We see Julius Dawkins just pushing by Greg Poole to double zone here. Again, Danny gets a little bit impatient, trying to hit Don the Brown. That ball is tipped in the air, and the ball is intercepted by Wilcher. Wilcher's also has put a lot of pressure on Danny Marino when he's thrown the ball.
And now Elkins is dropping back. He's going to run it. 45. Rod Elkins to the 45-yard line. Picked up 4 on the play. It'll be second down and 6.
Second down, David.
Lazuli made the tackle from Stamford, Connecticut. Marino has been intercepted twice.
Yeah, and he just got to collect himself here. He's just too large a talent to let this overcome him. He's got to battle this and come back and have a couple completions, get his confidence back.
Second down play. Elkins. Diving catch. But it is incomplete. Short hop. Mark Smith, the receiver. Third down play coming.
Amazing with all the offense we thought we were going to get. It's seen so much defense. But we should remember, number one, that Pittsburgh was the leading defensive team last year. North Carolina, I believe, was 5th in defense last year. And early on in the season, defenses are usually ahead of the offenses. And that's clearly evident tonight.
There's total offense posted right there. That even. Let's try the draw play. And find some running room. Kelvin Bryant. Kelvin Bryant showed a little flash of his brilliance when he got out into the open air and picked up the first down at the Pitt 35-yard line.
What a great time to call this draw, because they had a blitz on. A lot of linebackers came. Their strong safety came. It's a perfect time to call the draw. And this, you're going to see a man with 9.3 speed. He just cuts back. He nearly breaks this thing. One saving tackle.
Chris Dolman was the man who upset him.
It's the kind of play we've been expecting from Brian all evening.
Elkins completes another one to the 31-yard line. Ethan Horton. Ethan Horton took it. Michael Woods made the hit.
Yeah, Carolina is so disciplined. They're going to take advantage of mistakes. If Pitt continues to fumble the ball or throw interceptions, have offsides and mistakes, Carolina is the type of team, a well-disciplined team, well-coached team, that's going to take advantage of those mistakes, and that's they're doing right here.
Rick Barrick practicing his field goal just in kick. 7 minutes, 4 seconds left to play in the first half. Carolina leading 3-0. Second down, 6 yards to go. Not much here. Horton carried. Azio.
Hit by Mazzoli.
At the 30-yard line. Dave Mazzoli made the tackle. Gain him only a yard on that play. Makes it 3rd and 5 at the 30. Rod Elkins completed 6 of 11. Third and 5. Complete, 1st and 10 at the 17-yard line. Mark Smith, number 45. From Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Rod Elkins has done all the things it's been asked to do here. We're going to finally have an outside blitz on. Rod Elkins gets good protection and delivers the ball right to Mark Smith for the catch. Rod Elkins was a key to this game. We mentioned that on the top. He's taken the pressure off Bryant.
First down and 10 yards to go. Carolina at the Pittsburgh 17-yard line. Runs it to the 16, gets only a yard on that effort, so it'll be second down and 9 yards to go. Yogi Jones made the tackle.
Second and 9.
Dick Crum.
Gain of a yard, second and 9.
Says to Kelvin Bryant, go back in there, and to Burris, you follow him. And there goes Burris. Dick Crum, calm, collected, orderly, scholarly.
Although they say the last thing he does before getting ready for a game is throw up.
I know he thinks that all games should be played about 8 o'clock in the morning. He gets up, he's ready to go. So am I. Elkins, penalty marker. Pass completed. 10-yard line and on down to about the 3, but there is a penalty marker.
Illegal motion.
Illegal motion. Forrest is the man. Troy Hill made the tackle. That's James Jones, the 48 you saw with Coach Crum along the sideline. That's a big penalty against North Carolina. They would have carried that ball down to the 3-yard line.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Now we pick up the penalty.
Illegal motion on the offense. Second down.
Okay, second down play coming. 2nd and 14. At the 22. Pitts had 7 penalties for 50 yards. North Carolina 7 for 70 yards. North Carolina's leading by a score of 3-0. Crowd is trying to lend his support to the Pitt car. Did it again, but it's dropped. And Pittsburgh recovered it. Troy Hill is on it. Kelvin Bryant caught it, dropped it, and Troy Hill recovered it. He's going to take it home with it. So thus ends the North Carolina drive. Pitt starts at the 13-yard line. Coach Fazio says to Kranek, whatever it is, do it this way.
Do it again.
Yes. McIntyre and Thomas for the setbacks. Thomas. Oh my. The Carolina defense. It was Willie Harris, the strong safety, coming there. Back at the 10-yard line, loss of 3. Second down and 13 yards to go.
Although Danny Marino's thrown 2 interceptions in the last 2 possessions, you can't get caught with running the ball 3 times and punting here. This is going to lose so much field position. Marino's got to get back, throw the ball, get a completion, get a first down, get him out of that terrible field position.
With 4 minutes, 25 seconds left to play in the half. Now, screen left. That's Thomas. Penalty marker, penalty marker. Thomas out to the 19-yard line on the screen left. Willie Harris made the tackle, along with Hendrickson.
80 blue. 80 blue. You want the penalty?
Illegal motion.
What number, Dave? Number, Dave. What number? What?
5-yard penalty back to the 5-yard line.
Illegal motion on the offense. Second down.
2nd and 19. Back to the 5-yard line. It's a 6 5-yard penalty against Pitt. From the end zone, Marino going long. He puts it up. Collins drops the one through his hands, incomplete. Well, it came off the limb of the apple tree, but went right through his hand.
Just a tremendous throw. Danny Marino drops back all the way to his end zone. It's an interesting call because he's thrown 2 interceptions previous to this, but it lets it air out. Throws it right on target to Dwight Collins, and it will go right over his shoulder and right through his arms.
49 yards in the air from the end zone. Dan Marino, high school trophy candidate. 3rd and 19 for Pitt at the 5-yard line. He gets his receivers over to the other side. They ran the wrong set. From the end zone, Marino. Picks it up again. Jump ball. Dawkins, number 80, along with Sammy Johnson. 17-yarder.
It's short.
Not enough for the first down. 4th down coming. not enough for the first down. It was 3rd and 19, you'll recall, and here comes the punting unit. Ed Ganser coming in to do the punting.
Even though there wasn't a first down there, it was important because it added 17 yards to this punt.
Magnelli is in to make the snap in deep punt formation. Greg Cole is good back to field it from Carolina. Ganser booms it up there. Threw it to 32, 35, 40, 45, 46. 46-yard punt, return 14 yards. And so now, North Carolina gets the ball again in relatively good field position with 3 minutes left to play in the first half. They lead 3-0. Ball, they are leading by a score of 3-0. We have 3 minutes remaining to be played in the first half. Carolina first and 10 at their 46-yard line. Pitt supporters still moving it up here. They'll draw a play. Carried by Kelvin Bryant. Rich Brennan made the tackle. At halftime, Gary Bender, who is very familiar to all of you sports fans across the nation, will be joining us to host the halftime activities here. And throughout the season, of course, you'll be hearing Gary on some of the outstanding football games on this series. It is 2nd down and 11 yards to go. Or so before Michael Woods ran him out. It is at the 47-yard. 3rd and 9. Bryant has carried 8 times for 33 yards. Kelvin Bryant, a Heisman Trophy candidate, as is Dan Marino of the Pittsburgh Panthers. 2 minutes, 18 seconds left to have. Incomplete. Get to Harrison across the sideline marker, number 9. Punting unit comes on now, so Pitt will get the ball once again. One of Pitt's big problems in this ball so far has been that they had the ball for 6 plays and punted, 3 plays and punted, 3 plays and punted, 7 plays and had an interception, 1 and an interception, 3 plays and punted. So Carolina defense has put that kind of pressure on the Pitt offense. David Lowe puts the punt up. Tom Flynn at the 8-yard line. 10, 15, Flynn to the 20. And Tom Flynn sprinted out to the 24-yard line, but there's a marker on the play. 45-yard punt. Returned 17 yards. Snipes made the tackle. Clipping on the run back. The distance, 12.5 on the clip.
Well, Pittsburgh just can't seem to get anything going. They finally get a return here by Tommy Flynn. Yeah, you're right there. You see Tim Lewis.
During the return, the clip by the receiving
team. Got to be in front of the
distance to the goal.
Man, he obviously did not do that. It's a penalty, and it moves Pittsburgh way back underneath their goal line again.
Mazio, head coach for the first time in college here tonight. 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line. Exactly 2 minutes remaining in the first half. North Carolina leading 3-0. Now the draw play to Marlon McIntyre, the fullback. Who got it most a yard. Ronnie Snipes made the tackle again. Well, he got nothing, so it'll be 2nd down and 10 yards to go. You look at those numbers on the Pitt jerseys. Of course, they jump at you, the goal off the blue there. 1982 U.S. Open tennis highlights at Louis Armstrong Stadium, Flushing Meadows, New York, after the local news tonight. So stay tuned. CBS bringing you all the action of U.S. Open tennis. Illegal procedure.
On the defense, 12th man getting off the field late.
Okay. That 12th man got off the field late. That cost you 5. Carolina bench big fella, number 60. Reported at about 3:15, got down to 296, the pit bench. Next play is being wig-wagged in. You see it there. Second down and a yard to go. Ball at the 21-yard line. Brings it out. Thomas. He's trying to get first down yardage. Bill Shepard came in to make the tackle. Mark.
I'm going to stop.
You hear the referee saying he's going to check it. It's that close. That means bring out the chains, what that means. Clock says 43 seconds left in the half. They're going to bring out the chain to measure.
Pittsburgh doesn't look like they're going to try to score here. They're just going to run out this clock seemingly and go in and regroup at halftime, come back out with some fire. They're an aggressive type of team, Lindsay, and although they've tried to do some things, they've had so many mistakes, so many penalties and interceptions have gotten in the way. They've got to go back in, regroup, calm themselves down, and get it going in the second half.
Hold it. Okay, let that ball right.
Just a little short. It'll be third down, and on third down conversions tonight, Pitt is 2 of 7.
That's not good enough.
It's not. Third down and very short here. Clock will start on the snap, 43 seconds.
Go ahead, go. Stay there, Blue. Stay there, Blue.
You got to get the chain reset. He's saying stay there, Blue, because the chain gang has got to get back to the sideline.
No Big Mac over it.
Is started now as the ball is spotted because it was not a first down. 30 seconds left in the half. Motion across. Collins. McIntyre carried, but it was Willie Harris, strong safety, in to make the tackle.
Willie Harris just comes up and makes some great support. McIntyre just trying to get outside, pick up the first down. Harris reads it incredibly well. He's great on the run support. You know, Carolina called timeout there. They've had a great reputation over the past couple of years of blocking kicks, Lindsay. I think they blocked 6 last year.
Carolina did call the timeout to make Pittsburgh kick the ball. The clock was stopped with 12 seconds left in the half. So Carolina wanted Pitt to go into punt formation. Greg Ganser's come on to do the punting. Greg Poole has dropped back to receive it. Now Carolina's getting some more people in there. Presumably these are the people they brought in for the rush now on this punter.
Well, they may bring some cheerleaders and everybody else too, I'll tell you what.
Better believe it. They may have the band director and Ramsey's 9 in there on this rush. There's a penalty marker. At the 48. But there's a marker. Black. Walter Black was the fellow you saw way across. 31-yard punt.
On the defense.
Well, it's interesting that Walter Black was offsides because he blocked 2 kicks himself last year. So they have a scheme where they're going to try to get Walter Black up the middle to block the punt. Like I mentioned, he blocked 2 kicks last year, and he's just trying to get a good jump on the ball, and he did. The ball hadn't been snapped.
Well, Walter was doing his part. He was on the way.
2, 3, 4, 5. Are you sure?
North Carolina's had 9 penalties for 80 yards. Pittsburgh 9 for 77 yards. Total 18 penalties, 157 yards. That means it's opening day, it's early season, lots of mistakes, and you get lots of flags. Stay with us now during the halftime intermission. Gary Bender will be our host for halftime, and we'll be joined by Brent Musburger, Ira Parsegian. We'll have an update on U.S. Open tennis. So stay with us during the halftime intermission.
On the defense.
I'll say.
4th down.
There's Brent Mera just standing by, smiling. on at each other, fellas. Come on. That's it. Lots of fun. Here we go. Still punt formation. Good Ganser. It's still pool deep for North Carolina. They still got 10 of them up there ready to go in one direction. There it goes. Penalty. Penalty stops play. Time ran out. Time ran out before the snap, and so that is the halftime animation. And the teams head for the locker room, with North Carolina leading by a score of 3-0. We'll be back with our halftime activities after a word about an upcoming show on CBS and a message from your local station.
This game, a 39-yard field goal by Brooks Wyrick.
Avis works at the same fast pace that his automation systems. And by Allstate. For home, auto, business, health, and life, you're in good hands with Allstate.
We're about ready for the second half kickoff. North Carolina will kick off to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh had the option and elected to receive. The deep men are Darnell Stone and Tim Lewis. Rob Rogers kicks it out. Lewis waits. Lewis at the 3-yard line. He's at the 5, at the 10. He's at the 15, and he's cut down at the 18-yard line. So Pittsburgh starts at the 18, a 16-yard return. Now look at the stats of the first half of play here to get an idea of what happened in that first half.
Well, really what happened in that first down was just a game of turnovers there. I think Pittsburgh had 2 critical turnovers, once when they were driving down to score, and the other time was a tipped pass and affected Marino considerably.
All right, Marino is the quarterback. Brian Thomas, Marlon McIntyre are the setbacks in the out formation. That is Thomas. It's across to the 22-yard line for 3. It'll be second down and 7 yards to go. Bill Shepard came up from the linebacker spot to make the tackle.
Lindsey, this first series in the second half really sets the pace, the tempo. This is the most critical series of any half. He's got Pittsburgh on their side of the ball. They want to get something going, get some first downs. For North Carolina, they would like to stay in for 3 plays and get out. But this first series on each half is the most critical.
You saw Marino staring to the sideline because the plays are wig-wagged in. Here's the starting lineup, second half. Marino. Incomplete, and might have been interception. He was trying to get it to John Brown, but Bill Shepard made a move on the ball. And had he picked it off, it would have been goodbye Nellie Gray. So it'll be third down and 7 yards to go with the ball at the 22-yard line. There is the Pitt offensive line. They have not been able to protect their quarterback as well as many thought that they would in the first half play. Marino, right over the middle. Shepard made the tackle. Brian Thomas. But the punting unit comes on now, and it is Greg Ganser in to do the booting. 4th down and 5 yards to go. Greg Poole drops back to receive it for North Carolina. Magnelli in to make the snap in deep punt formation. Ganser gets it off. Booms it out of there, as a matter of fact. Poole retreats, 25-yard line. 30, 32. First and 10 at the 32, 51-yard punt return, 7 yards. So now Carolina gets the ball on offense. I doubt that Carolina thinks 3 points will win this football game. I doubt that Pittsburgh thinks 3 points will win this football game. I doubt that I think 3 points will win this football game.
Well, there are too many good, skilled people for that to happen, I think. I think we could disappoint what's happened in the first half, but Carolina's defense did its job.
Somebody beat the snap by a good margin. The handoff was to Kelvin Bryant from Elkins. It could have been Brian Blados. And if it was Blados, you can't stop him once he's in motion. Illegal for 6.
listed as a quick 295. That's possible.
As the rest of the offensive line.
Illegal procedure against the offense. First down.
You know, we have not said much about David Drexler. He had not practiced in 2 weeks. He's their All-American left guard, and his injury certainly has affected his performance tonight.
Another time that whistle stops playing, we have a flag. Elkins was rolling right. Dick Crum, hands on hips. Dick Crum coached at Miami, Oxford, Ohio. Came from there to North Carolina, and this is his 5th year as the head coach.
Illegal procedure against the offense. First down.
We had hoped to show you first half highlights during the halftime intermission, but it was our studied opinion that there weren't any. And so we'll try to show you some highlights here.
Can you believe we waited 19 years for this?
You're right. Off the tail of the tandem, the running man, Kelvin Bryant. Got it out there about the 28-yard line. Michael Woods on the tackle.
Again, North Carolina's offensive line. You see Ron Sproul trapping there. This is what they've done so well. They just kick out with the fullback, trap with the guard, and give the ball to the tailback. Kelvin Bryant.
Second down and 14 at the 28. Incomplete. Intended for Burris. And that shot from the Goodyear blimp overhead. Right down onto Three Rivers Stadium. Elkins is 8 for 15, 61 yards in the air. Third down and 14 yards to go. Ball is at the 28-yard line. Rod Elkins, the quarterback for North Carolina. Into his tailback. Kelvin Bryant. And the punting unit comes on because Rich Cranack was in to make the tackle. He had 8 tackles in the first half. So did Woods have 8 in the first half. So David Lowe comes in to do the booting, and number 5, Tom Flynn, drops back to receive. Pitch should come out of this with pretty good field position. Flynn at the 35. He finds no corner to turn. North Carolina coverage prevents him from turning upfield, so it's not as good as it might have been. 36-yard punt, return 3. So they will start first down and 10 yards to go at the 31-yard line as it is finally posted. 3-0, North Carolina leading. Now whirling the tiger tails that were distributed here tonight. As the fans came in, they were given tiger tails in the manner of the terrible towels of a few years ago here at this stadium. They're trying to give some backing now to the Pittsburgh Panthers. They'll start first and 10 at their own 31-yard line. And Marino brings them up. Marino with the ball. Goes it back to Thomas. 40, 45. 46. Ryan Thomas, the receiver. Willie Harris, the tackle. 16-yard pickup, first and 10. Look for one brief moment as they might have him again for a loss.
Danny Marino shows why he's a great athlete. We haven't seen this tonight. He's actually rolling out. He's trying to hit his receiver here on the right. He gets pressure from the outside, pulls up. And then he has great vision. Sees Brian Thomas over here to the left. So dumps the ball off to Brian. And Brian goes.
Brian's got it again. To the 45-yard line. And North Carolina, Steve Hendrickson in to make the tackle. And Hayden, you've been on the field as a quarterback. Now this crowd is revved up trying to lend all the vocal support they can. Can that have an effect on a ball club on the field?
Absolutely. I think particularly in a college atmosphere, in a situation like this, a crowd can have a tremendous effect on these young players.
But it is second down, 1 yard to go. They're trying to keep the drive alive now. North Carolina leading by 3 points in the third quarter. Draw play. McIntyre. First and 10 to 35. Marlon McIntyre stopped by Bill Shepard. That'll be spotted more nearly the 36-yard line.
Interesting call. A 2nd and 1. It's normally a throwaway down. You try to go deep. Here they go with the draw. McIntyre has a hole, breaks a tackle, big gain, a great call, great drive going here. This is just what the doctor ordered.
McIntyre started 8 times from 38 yards. Dawkins to the right side, Collins to the left side. Now Collins to the right side. Nope, they both belong on the left side. We'll get it straight. Or they'll get it straight. Marino. And complete inside the 20-yard line. Finally fired the big gun. Wiltshire in to make the tackle. Collins made the catch, a 19-yard pickup. Dwight Collins from Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania. They've turned out a few there.
Every third pass that Dwight Collins has caught has gone for a touchdown. Again, great skilled people in Pittsburgh. Danny Marino's the type of guy. He's had a slow night. It's been a rough start. But now he's got some confidence back, and look out.
First and 10 for the Panthers. They held the ball at the 16-yard line of North Carolina. Thomas skidding into the 10-yard line. Stopped by Aaron Jackson. Gain of 6 on the play makes it 2nd and 4. Marino looks to the sideline to pick up his next play.
They were down here once before, and Marino got a little impatient and threw an interception. They have 2nd and 5 right now. They have 3 downs to get a first down running the ball. I expect to see him do that.
Ball is just outside the 10-yard line. Dawkins to the left side, Collins to the right side. Thomas and McIntyre, the setback. Marino with the ball. Collins to the 3-yard line. Dwight Collins to the 3. Willie Harris made the tackle.
Shows you how much I know about football. I call the run. But Dwight Collins runs a little delay. Marino looks off. You can see him looking to his left. Now he comes back to the right. A short little dump off to Dwight Collins. There's the catch in front of the defenders.
They're going to run double tight end.
First down.
They're going to run double tight end. They have brought Julius Dawkins off the field, and they have Clint Wilson in there. Ball is at the 4-yard line. First down and goal at the 4. Timeout is called by Marino. Up there, took a look, call time. Wants to come to the sideline. And waiting for him is his head coach, Serafino Dante Fazio, in his first night as a head college coach.
Championships during the 1981-82 school year. North Carolina won the basketball title and also captured its 2nd straight lacrosse championship. Virginia won the first NCAA Division I Women's Cross Country Championship. In addition, Clemson was acclaimed as national football champions. The preceding message was furnished by the NCAA.
This is the 7th play of this drive that began on Pittsburgh's own 31-yard line. They have it first down and goal to go at the Carolina 4. Carolina is leading by a score of 3-0, and we have 8 minutes 39 seconds remaining to be played in the third quarter. Sellout crowd of near 55,000, Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh. Dick Crum, the head coach of the Tar Heels of North Carolina. But Fazio. And Marino. Ball is being marked ready for play. And it's ready.
Getting Marino from 3 of 3 in this last drive.
He wants a little quiet. Shift to the wing. Bring back Collins in motion. Marino rolling and throwing and completing and touchdown. Thomas took it in. 4 seconds left in the third quarter. Pittsburgh is ahead for the first time tonight. Conversion attempt coming. Snuffy Everett will attempt it. Snuffy Everett boots, and it's good. So they moved 69 yards in 7 plays. Took 3.5 minutes. Marino was 4 for 4 on the drive, 35 yards. Touchdown to Thomas.
I'll give them some credit. They had first and goal on the 4, and they're aggressive. Then they're going to roll Danny Marino out again. And here's a guy who's 6'4", 215 pounds, rolling out, delivering the ball on the run, which is a very difficult pass to throw. Right on target, Brian Thomas out the flat. He outraces Willie Harris to the corner of the end zone, 6 points.
So now, Everett will kick it off. I beg your pardon, Schubert will kick it on. Brian Thomas, the man who scored. Mark Smith and Ethan Horton are deep. Horton's 12 and Smith is 45. Thomas has had 6 receptions, 37 yards, and 1 touchdown. Carolina bench a little down at the moment.
They've got to pick themselves up.
Lazio's a little more relieved. Schubert puts it up. Smith at the 5, 10, 15. Upended at the 18-yard line. Dukovic downfield, a 14-yard return.
Big series here for Carolina. There's a lot of emotion around this stadium right now. Pittsburgh's come out for a big drive, a big score. Carolina's got to quiet this crowd down and get their confidence back by getting a few first downs and moving those chains.
Rod Elkins, number 10 at the controls as usual from Greensboro, North Carolina. Stumbled a little bit. And they're still back at the 10-yard line. Bill Motz, Newtown Square, PA, made the tackle. 71. Wayne Lekowski also there. First sack of Elkins, loss of 9.
Get a look at Bill Moss here. He just goes right by David Drexler, an injured David Drexler. You know, Rod Elkins had slipped a little bit on that drop back. They play on natural grass most of the time. I wonder if he had a little trouble with this artificial surface.
Second and 19 at the 10. Try a reverse play down here. Bryant carrying, but he can't go either. Penalty marker on the play. J.C. Pelusi on the tackle. Face mask against Pittsburgh. It'll be a 5-yard face guard. There are all sorts of face guard penalties.
Only a 5-yarder.
Only 5, says the referee.
Face mask on the defense. Second down.
Second and 13 at the 60. That's Fazio. Incomplete. Trying to get it to Winfield, Earl Winfield, who is a freshman. Troy Hill covering. He's a junior from South River, New Jersey. Yards rushing. Carolina has rushed for 52. Pitt has rushed for 49. Now the draw play here. Delvin Bryant. Well, he didn't get the first down, but he got close. Yogi Jones made the tackle, along with Michael Woods. Hunting unit comes on for Carolina.
You know, we showed that graphic a moment ago about Carolina only gaining something like 50 yards. Well, that is their bread and butter. That's what they live by. And they're asking Rod Elkins to do a little too much. They've got to get their running game going.
Tom Flynn is deep to take the punt from David Lowe. Low booms it out. Flynn at the 22-yard line. 25. 30. 35. 40. 45. 50. And out of bounds at the 45-yard line of North Carolina. 51-yard punt return, 33 yards by Flynn. And there's a penalty marker on the play. Penalty marker on the run back. Clipping on the run back. Against Pittsburgh, of course.
Here is Tommy Flynn. He had an 83-yard punt return last year. We see him get a great block right there, which might have been the clip. He just races down the sideline, and he was a little disappointed with that, I'm sure. Going to get a picture of the clip here. His head has got to be in front of him. You see him here right, blocking him right in the back, right out of bounds. That's where the penalty was.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line for Pittsburgh. A considerable alteration of their field position. And Marino brings them up. Marino has the ball. Gets it to Dawkins. Julius Dawkins at the 31-yard line. 1st and 10. Walter Black on the corner. Kernersville, North Carolina.
So much of playing quarterback is confidence. Right now, there is a confident young man playing quarterback for the University of Pittsburgh, and that makes all the difference in the world.
6 minutes, 20 seconds left in the third quarter. There are Dawkins stats, 3:35. Penalty marker, whistle stops play.
Well, the right side was offsides here, and I don't care how good a football team you are. Pittsburgh is the #1 ranked team, but they're really hurting themselves. They're having to go a lot further because of these mental mistakes.
I'll put the ball back at the 26. Pittsburgh sideline. Langlikowski apparently with a finger injury.
He's either got to get a shorter name or a broader shoulders.
1st and 15 here. Marino. Pumps. Woods line. To Collins. Jump ball. Incomplete. That is playing jump ball with Steve Hendrickson, the sophomore from Danville, Virginia. Collins, the man for whom it was intended.
When you say jump ball, Lindsay, you're right. Danny Marino believes when he throws the ball up there like that, it gives Julius Dawkins and Dwight Collins a chance to jump up and catch the ball. They are going to catch it more times than not. Great athletes up there on the outside.
Marino is 14 for 23, 121 yards, 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown. He had hit 6 in a row for 61 yards until that incompletion. Marino completes one to Thomas in the left flat. Tries to speed down the sideline. Stopped by Steve Fortson on the nose from Dayton, Ohio. Pat, this is your first night, of course, as an analyst with our CBS crew. We're delighted to have you up here, but what about it? Do you miss being down there?
I do not miss being down there getting booed and getting beat up, Lindsay. This is much nicer up there. And you know what? I can actually see the receivers up here. I never realized that those guys actually got open.
Well, I understand that, but let me tell you something about your new profession. You don't often get beat up, but you get booed up here, too.
I'm sure you do.
3rd and 11 at the 30-yard line. Marino looking for a place to go, and he's sacked. Oh, my. Mike Wilcher, the attack linebacker, got to him. Second sack of Marino, a loss of 10. That brings the punting unit on, and Greg Ganser comes in to do the booting. So again, the Carolina defense has done the job, as they have done so very often here tonight. Greg Poole has dropped back to field the punt now. Marino comes off. 18 seconds left in the third quarter. Pittsburgh leading by a score of 7-3. High trajectory. Fair catch at the 35. So Carolina will start first and 10. They'll have the ball at the 35. 43-yard punt with no return. Pittsburgh leading 7-3. They're working on Ron Sams along the sideline. There was a penalty inflicted on that last kick, which moved the ball back to the 26-yard line. So it'll be started first and 10. Carolina at their own 26. Near the conclusion of tonight's game, as well as every CBS NCAA football telecast this season, we'll be selecting the Chevrolet Most Valuable Players from each competing team. Chevrolet donates a $1,000 scholarship to the General Scholarship Fund of each MVP school to assist qualified students in all chosen academic disciplines. Calvin Bryant tries to turn a corner, but there isn't one. There isn't one because Tim Lewis is there, number 26. Loss of 2 on the play makes it second down and 12 yards to go. Ryan has carried 13 times for 51 yards. Smith across. Elkins. Well, he got rid of it. Chris Dolman was the man who was putting the pressure on. And wisely, Elkins thought he'd better get rid of the football, and he did. Third and 12. Turnstile count tonight, 54,449 here at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. In fact, the only time the whole year I get to use the word confluence comes up when I explain that Three Rivers Stadium is located at the confluence of the Monongahela and the Allegheny Rivers, where they form the Ohio.
I'm impressed.
Incomplete, intended for Winfield. That'll bring on the punting unit. Dan Short, Keith Short was there.
We're going to have a look at All-American David Drexler, number 54. You see him right there in the middle of your screen. He's been injured, but he helps out there on Bill Moss, and he's limping on his ankle there a little bit. You can see that.
David Lowe into punt, hands outstretched, gets the snap. Tommy Flynn is waiting. He has it at the 22, skids there. Turned it just short of the 25. James made the tackle, 55-yard punt, returned 3 yards. It will be first down and 10 yards to go now for the Panthers. They have the ball at their own 24-yard line. We have 4.5 minutes remaining to be played in the third quarter. Get up. Well, Pittsburgh has total yardage of 93 yards, and they've scored 7 points. North Carolina has 7 yards in the third quarter. They've had 3 possessions, and each time it's been 1, 2, 3 kick. Pitt has the ball first and 10 at their own 24-yard line. Marino brings them up. Double to the left side. Brown tight end to the right. Thomas carries across to the 27-yard line. Picked up 3 on the play. It'll be second down and 7 yards to go. William Fuller, the All-American tackle, was in to make the stop. Fuller from Chesapeake, Virginia. And he's a good one. Darrell Clark comes into the ball game now, the wide receiver. Clark is coming out in a wide right. Dawkins in a wide left. Running backs in an I formation. Marino. Incomplete to Clark, the man who just came into the ball game. Deflected by Chris Ward. Third and 7 at the 27. Been a lot of preparation going on at both places. We've spent 3 days at Chapel Hill, North Carolina. We spent 3 days here in Pittsburgh. I was impressed with the fact that one day here in Pittsburgh, Hugh Green called the coach to say hello and wish him well. An old grad here at Pitt. Mike Ditka called on another occasion, to which bode Fazio a successful evening. Collins is back in the ball game, but sacked again is the quarterback Marino as the Carolina defense gets to it. That's the third sack. Third time the Carolina defense has managed to get to the quarterback. You know, there have teams gone a long, long time without ever getting to this quarterback. That's an accomplishment. Greg Gans is back to punt. He'll punt it to Greg Poole. Pittsburgh is leading by a score of 7-3, and the Tar Heels want the football. Poole, 38, 40, 45, 49-yard line. Excellent field position from which to start. 40-yard punt, returned 11. Today, season premiere Saturday, September 18th. Brett Musburger, Hera Parsegian will be on hand. They, of course, will bring you up to date on highlights, scores of all other games around the country, and not all of them, but many of the highlight games. Pat O'Brien will be on hand with features, so we invite you to tune it in. Here go the Tar Heels, 1st and 10 from their own 49. Can they move against the Pitt defense? They haven't been able to this quarter. Elkins rolling and looking and throwing and incomplete to Winfield. Why do they call them Tar Heels? Well, there are a couple of stories about it. One says that tar and turpentine were the principal products of the area back in the Revolutionary War, and that one of the generals said, well, they stick like they had tar on their heels. Another popular version is that during the Civil War, General Robert E. Lee watched a contingent of North Carolina soldiers and said they hold their ground like they had tar on their heels. No matter where it started, if you're a Carolina backer, you are Tar Heel born and a Tar Heel bred. Elkins is 8 for 19, 61 yards. He's missed 6 in a row now. Second down, 10 yards to go. Now the draw. Kelvin Bryant carried it, but he got only a yard to the 50. Stopped by Bill Moss and Michael Wood. 3rd and 9 at the 50. 2.5 minutes left to play in the third quarter. Why do they call them Panthers? Well, a number of years ago, back in 1909 to be exact, they decided they needed an animal as a mascot. After all, Georgia had a bulldog, North Carolina State had a wolf, and so they selected a panther. And a panther ever since. Smith, he's got it at the 35, but there's a penalty marker on the play. He's just short of the 30-yard line, but there was a marker thrown. Roy Hill made the tackle, 20 yards on the play. Gonna bring it back. Ineligible downfield. Ineligible downfield, and that this year is a 5-yard penalty plus loss of the down.
On the offense, a 5-yard penalty and loss of down. 4th down. 4th down. 4th down.
You know, it's interesting, Lindsay, that David Drexler has actually been injured. There we get a picture of David Drexler right now. He hurt that, re-injured that ankle. Now playing his position is Greg Narron, number 77. Greg Narron has never played offensive line. He was a defensive player last year, and there's 2 offensive players in the offensive line for Carolina now who have never played offense.
Lost it down, made it 4th and 14. The punter is in to boot it. It's David Lowe. Tom Flynn is back deep for Pitt. At the 20, he's got it. Knocked out of bounds near the 31-yard line. 35-yard punt, returned 11 yards. Larry James ran him out. So the Pitt Panthers get it now. 1st and 10. They get it at their own 31-yard line. We've talked about the great tradition, the great history of football at these 2 schools. Back in 1910, Pittsburgh went undefeated, untied, and unscored on. They did something else. They put jerseys on the uniforms, became the first team ever to wear jerseys.
Now, you didn't do any of those games.
Put numbers on the jerseys. I didn't do any of those, you're right. They leave it in close. McIntyre. Bill Shepard in to make the tackle. After local news tonight, 1982 U.S. Open tennis highlights from Flushing Meadow, New York. You've been out to see some of those, Pat.
And I enjoyed that. I tell you what, I'm not too short to play that game. I can't play as well as McEnroe, but I can play it.
You understand, of course, that the local news is on the East Coast, after which the tennis comes up. Marino going long, and it's intercepted. Taken back there in center field by Sammy Johnson. Third interception of a Marino pass intended for Collins, who was streaking.
Well, this is what Danny Marino's been guilty of, just trying to force the deep ball. This is exactly what he's done. Sammy Johnson is just laying deep, waiting for this pass. It looks like he's actually throwing to Johnson, but Dwight Collins is never going to get there. The ball should not have been thrown.
Carolina will start first and 10. They'll have the ball at their own 19-yard line. 1 minute, 14 seconds left in the third quarter. Pittsburgh leading by a score of 7-3. That's a handoff. Little running room for Ethan Horton. Ethan Horton, the former quarterback. Michael Woods made the tackle.
He's a former quarterback, but he's 6'4" and 214 pounds.
You say that enviously.
I do.
Second down and a yard to go.
I'm that tall when I stand on all my college degrees.
I understand. That's Collins. Burris and Bryant are there just now. Kelvin Bryant to the 32-yard line. Got the first down. It's first and 10. Time remaining 31 seconds in the third quarter. Bryant's carried 15 times for 56 yards.
That is not up to his standards, but let's give Pittsburgh defense some credit. They were #1 the last 2 years, and it looks like they're on the way to having a very good defense this year.
Next play has been brought in. First and 10 at the 32. Clock is running. Contact made. That'll stop the clock at 13 seconds. Fazio. North Carolina has just picked up its first down this quarter.
Looks like Coach Fazio's been working hard this week, hasn't he?
Tell you, he's a little exercised. Now you look along the Pittsburgh sideline. That's Marino.
You know, Danny Marino's thrown some interceptions tonight, but he's such a dangerous player, as we've talked about. I remember his freshman year, actually, his very first pass he threw here was an interception. 2 plays later, he threw a touchdown. That's the kind of player he is. He's a big play type of guy. He just will not force the ball. He can let his athletic ability and his great skilled receivers do the job.
Penfield comes to the left side, Smith to the right side. 1 second, and time runs out before they can snap it. That's the end of the third quarter. So that's the end of the third quarter with the score: Pittsburgh 7, North Carolina 3. And we'll be back with fourth quarter action after this message and a word from your local station.
CBS Sports coverage of tonight's North Carolina-Pittsburgh game is sponsored by Mr. Goodwrench and General Motors Parts, Atari, a division of Warner Communications, and by Chevrolet and your local Chevy dealers from coast to coast.
down at the 27-yard line. For Carolina, they have the ball in their own territory as we start the fourth quarter. Pitt leads 7-3. Leave it on the ground. Drive it up to the 30-yard line with Ethan Horton carrying. This is Lindsey Nelson with Pat Hayden at Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh. Bill Boss came in to make the last tackle. Here are the third quarter stats. North Carolina only a 21-yard total in the third quarter in yardage, none in passing. Second down and 12 yards to go. At the 30. Burris and Horton are in there now. Try the reverse. That's a Smith carrying. Got just back to the line of scrimmage. Michael Woods made the tackle. Penalty marker.
By a clipping on the offense.
It looks like this play is going to get set up. We see the reverse, the handoff here to Mark Smith, the wide receiver. Everything looks like it's going according to form. But Michael Woods, number 96, is defensive end for the University of Pittsburgh, going to come into your picture. Now, he stayed at home. He did his job, and he makes the play. And there's the clip right there at the bottom of the screen there on number 22, Troy Hill.
On the offense. Second down.
Ball moves back to the 18-yard line. Carolina possession in the third quarter. 1-2-3 punt, 1-2-3 punt, 1-2-3 punt, 1-2-3 punt. Sometimes called the cha-cha offense.
That was my specialty.
Calvin Bryant. Two back out to the 20-yard line for Kelvin. And that was Yogi Jones, number 59 on the tackle. He from Denora. Ryan Thomas, BT Express, they call him. He got the touchdown. Third and 23 at the 20. Out of that rush. Got out to the 30-yard line where it'll be now 4th and 12. Yogi Jones. As the punting team comes on, Pat, I want to bring up something. You know, we're talking about the pressure on coaches. Well, we've touted a lot of Heisman Trophy candidates, and they've been in action, a good many of those that are highly touted, including two here tonight. And after this punt, we'll talk a little bit about what they have done or what they have failed to do in their initial appearances of this season. This is David Lowe punting. And he's got Flynn deep back there. Ball got away. And was recovered by Pittsburgh. Larry James is down there. 50-yard punt, no return.
Well, this is why I was never a punt returner. You watch Tommy Flynn. He's back there all by himself. And he's going to get kissed here by somebody good. He is supposed to be allowed to catch the ball here. He did. Oh, hello.
Larry James right there.
That hurts.
Pitt fortunately recovered the football, and they have it 1st and 10 at the 18-yard line. The BT Express again. Ryan Thomas. Let's talk again about the Heisman candidates.
Well, Lindsey, you're absolutely right. We've seen a couple of guys earlier on the week, and last week Kurt Warner played and did not have a spectacular game. Herschel Walker's been injured. Kelvin Bryant, Dan Boone, we've seen here tonight. Only John Elway, who's the real leader, another candidate, is yet to play. I think we're putting too much pressure on these young men, Lindsey.
Struggling up there in the vicinity of the 25.
Going back to the pressure, we talk so much about pressure of coaching and coaching the #1 football team. You have to remember, these guys are 18, 19, 20-year-old young men. And granted, these are very good football players, but they're going to make mistakes, and they're going to feel the pressure, and they're still learning an awful lot about life. And we expect and demand a great deal out of our football heroes, and sometimes is a little too much, I think.
Well said. Pitt is 3 of 12 on third down conversions. That's 25%. 3rd and 3 here. Well, Marino, scatter and get rid of it. He sort of unloaded there. Snipes was putting pressure on him there. Ronnie Snipes.
Continues to amaze me how much pressure Carolina is putting on Dan Marino. As we have mentioned a couple times, he was sacked 13 times all of last season. They've sacked him, I believe, 3 times tonight. They've made him hurry throws and put an awful lot of pressure on him. I give Carolina's defensive scheme an awful lot of credit.
Greg Ganter and the punter Greg Poe. Got it at the 15. Okay, now 25, 30, 35. Up near the 40-yard line. 59-yard punt return, 23 yards. They will start first down and 10 yards to go at the 39-yard line. First and 10 Carolina at their own 39. Motion across, Elkins waiting for the snap. Quick pitch. Halfback pass. Horton throwing incomplete. The former quarterback in the left halfback position. You look at Danny Marino, a thoughtful Pittsburgh quarterback on the sideline.
A marvelous talent, though.
And from the Goodyear blimp overhead, we get a shot right down onto Three Rivers Stadium. Beautiful evening here in Pittsburgh. Shot of the blimp. Second and 10. And completed the 45. And taken down to the 41-yard line. Victor Harrison. Henderson, North Carolina.
Again, Rod Elkins drops back and delivers a key play to Victor Harrison here. Good protection. Good protection there. Harrison just comes right over the middle in front of Tommy Flynn, the free safety. Makes a good move, almost breaks another tackle.
That is the first Carolina completed pass this half.
Good protection for Carolina, considering they have 2 men who have never played offensive line before.
That's Horton at the tailback. Horton's got it. Got about 5, maybe 6. Down to the 36-yard line. Again, a 5. It's second down and 5 yards to go. Winglikowski made the tackle. Minutes, 13 seconds. That is time remaining to be played in this game. And Pittsburgh is leading by a score of 7-3. Elkins. Tipped up. Tipped up by Fazuli. Dave Fazuli from Stamford, Connecticut. Second sack. This half, Elkins 1 for 7. James Jones going off. Burris coming on, Alan Burris from Shelby, North Carolina. Pat, how would you attack a defense like Pittsburgh has right now?
I think they've got to force the ball downfield a little bit more to their outside guys. I think they're being a little bit too conservative, like right there.
Smith, the intended receiver.
I think they need to get downfield a little bit more, Lindsey, because they've gone to the well a little too often. They've thrown the ball to the halfback and the tight end successfully in the first half. A sign of a good defense as Pittsburgh. They've taken that away from them and have forced Carolina, or trying to force Carolina, to throw the ball to their outside receivers.
Yogi Jones deflected that last pass. This is Carolina's 6th punt this half. Lots of time. David Lowe. It's on the Carolina bounce. That's going to be down. Carolina touched it, but then Glenn picked it up and it's down to the 15-yard line. 33-yard punt, no return. So now the Panthers start, but they start deep in their own territory. And the clock says we have 8 minutes, 58 seconds remaining to be played. It is still Pitt 7 and Carolina 3.
College Football Hall of Fame is the unique home for one of America's most colorful traditions. It's located at Kings Island, Ohio on Interstate 71, just north of Cincinnati. See it and relive the rich history of college football. The preceding message provided by the NCAA.
We're looking at Denny Marson, the defensive coordinator for Carolina. He's a man that's got to put his defense in a position to put some pressure on Dan Marino. 3 plays and out, keep them in their side of the field.
First and 10 at the 16 for the Pitt Panthers. And Marino sets it up. Goes long to Collins. And it's intercepted. Picked off. Number 4. Walter Black intercepted it. The 4th time Marino has been intercepted tonight. That could be the break Carolina's been waiting for. The Carolina offense since the field goal has been 8 punts and a fumble.
Well, we said it a couple times already. He does force the ball. Again, he's trying to get it all on one play. Walter Black is there to make the play, make the interception, as was Sammy Johnson. Walter Black just steps in front of the receiver. The ball is a little bit underthrown. Black had 6 interceptions last year, too.
Why, in that circumstance, when you lead 7-3 and you need possession, would you go for the home run?
Well, that is just the point. I think perhaps they're forcing it a little bit too much, Lindsey. You don't need to do that.
That ball went 51 yards in the air, but it landed in Carolina hands. First and 10. The Tar Heels with the ball at their own 41. Can they move it? Swing it out. Got it to Kelvin Bryant out there in the left flat, but not much because Michael Woods was out there. It's a completed pass. And it is a loss of a yard.
Lindsey, I think perhaps Dan Marino is just trying to do a little bit too much. He's got marvelous skills, but he's got to let the other people do their jobs as well. He can't do it all himself.
Along that sideline down at the 36-yard line to Earl Winfield. Tom Flynn ran him out. 23-yard pickup. Carolina moving deeper into Pittsburgh territory. Now keep in mind that the lead is 4 points.
This is Earl Winfield. He just gets behind one defender, in front of the other. The ball is delivered right on time for a big first down. He steps right out of bounds and doesn't get hit.
It's only the 3rd North Carolina first down this half. They want to keep this drive alive. We're at that time of day with 8 minutes, 8 seconds left to play in the game. Open up a hole up the middle for Ethan Horton. Big Ethan got to the 32-yard line. Bill Moss made the tackle. On with Cranack.
Pittsburgh has a great defense, but Pittsburgh's offense is putting Pittsburgh's defense in too much trouble, putting too much pressure on them. By turning the ball over so much, they're asking Pittsburgh's defense to do an awful lot tonight. They've been on this field an awful lot in the 4th quarter, Lindsey.
They have. It is 2nd and 6 at the 32-yard line. Crowd is trying to exhort the Pitt defense here. Horton side slips one. Gets to the 25-yard line. Picked up about 7 yards on the play. Tim Lewis made the tackle. It's a first down. Coach Fazio of the Pitt Panthers. And Denny Crum, the head man of the Tar Heels. Clock says now 7 minutes, 18 seconds, and it's running. Dick Crum. Dick Crum, the head coach. Where'd you come out? Ethan Horton again. Been carrying the brunt of this drive down to the 21-yard line.
I think it's interesting that everybody expected Pittsburgh to be much more physical than Carolina. Carolina has really carried itself very, very well here. They're starting to wear the Pittsburgh defense down here at a very critical part of the football game.
Every time. Clock is ever running. 6 minutes, 35 seconds left to play in the game. Second out, 6 yards to go at the 21. Smith in motion across. That's Horton again. But this time the Pitt defense closes him off. Led by Cranack, Rich Cranack. Phoenixville, PA. Dick Crum talking to James Jones. Sending him in.
Critical third down here, Lindsey. 6 minutes left in the ball game. If Carolina does not convert here, they may only see the ball once more. So they have got to do something here.
As we just saw, they haven't converted much. 1 of 12. And he's sacked. Third sack for the Pitt defense. Bill Moss made the tackle with Michael Wood. Keep in mind, Carolina trails by 4 points. They're not going to get the ball a great deal more tonight. 5 minutes, 24 seconds left to play in this game. They're looking to the sideline to see on 4th down and 16 yards to go at the 31. What do you do? Brooks Barwick is coming there, the field goal man. Put it down there for a 39-yarder, but we're getting a timeout signal. Now it's Rob Rogers. So apparently it's going to be Rob Rogers, the long field goal man. Clock says 5:03. Now the Rob Rogers is in to attempt a 48-yard field goal. He is not the man who kicked the 39er in the first half. That was Brooks Barwick. Stankavich is in to hold. Rogers is the man who kicks off. It's good. A 48-yard field goal. Kicked by Rogers, and that makes this a 7-6 football game. And we have 4 minutes, 57 seconds left on the clock. So now there's a 1-point differential, and we settle down to turn for home. It'll be Carolina kicking off now. Pittsburgh in position to receive, and Rogers is the field goal. Look at it again here now. Look at Rogers. Now watch his reaction. Oh boy, it's good, he says. Tied for 3rd longest in North Carolina history. Kickoff is taken at the 1-yard line and returned to the 15. It was Darnell Stone who returned it. So now, can the Carolina defense hold the Pitt offense and get the football for another try, or can Pitt maintain possession and run out some of that time off the clock? 4 minutes, 53 seconds left to play in this game. Marino is coming on there, number 13, to run the attack. They start 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line. Pittsburgh is leading by a score of 7-6. Stats on Marino. Leave it on the ground. Thomas gets it out there across the 26. That'll be a 1st down. Willie Harris made the stop. Big gain. Bill Shepard also on the tackle. There's an injury, a Pitt injury.
My time. My time.
Number 51, Pittsburgh. And that is Tony McNally. Kelly, who is on special teams for the most part, is a center, backup center. While we have a moment, Pat, I think we should take this occasion to thank the members of both the coaching staffs, the staffs at both the University of North Carolina and the University of Pittsburgh, for their marvelous cooperation with our efforts to get ready for this football game. We spent 3 days in North Carolina, 3 days here in Pittsburgh. The SIDs, the sports information directors, the coaches, all members of the athletic staff. I thought it was just marvelous.
Yeah, they were really great to us. I really enjoyed my stay at both places. As you mentioned, we went down at Chapel Hill. I had never been down there. One of the prettiest places on this earth, I think. Just a fabulous place. And Dick Crum was a really special person to us. Coach Fazio here in Pittsburgh, he's awful excited and fired up about his team.
Nelly comes off. Look at it again.
Well, they're just a big pile up, and you see these kind of injuries. There he is, 51. It looks like his knee just gave right out on him on that turf. It caught in the turf. It looks like his knee gave out on him.
First and 10 at the 27-yard line. 4:29 on the clock. Pitt 7, North Carolina 6. On the ground again to Thomas. Sort of scratches and scrambles up to the 29-yard line. Second down and 8 yards to go. Aaron Jackson made the tackle.
It's Denny Marson, their defensive coordinator for Carolina. He really has done a great job tonight, Lindsey, of playing pass coverage at times, blitzing people at the right times, stunning people at the right times. A very intelligent defensive game that he's called.
Second down, 8 yards to go. Thomas, and they're killing that clock. The most effective way by running the ball on the ground and gaining yardage. They've got it up there past the 35-yard line to the 37. He's carried 13 times for 51 yards. Mike Wiltshire on the last tackle.
The BT Express is sort of going to work here, and this is what they really need to do. They need to get something out of the running game, which they have not had done much tonight. All of a sudden, Brian Thomas is finding some holes up there in front.
They're measuring for the possible first down. A little short. Just a little bit short. While they reset the chains, let us offer our thanks to our spotter, Bill Friel, and to our statistician, Mike Swanson. Gentlemen, thank you very kindly. Third down conversions of the teams rated 5th and 1st. 1 for 13, 3 for 13.
Not real impressive offenses, but good defense.
I'll say. 3rd and 1. Got the quarterback sneak. Marino trying to pick up the yardage. I don't know whether he got any or not. Didn't need much. Didn't get much. We're going to bring out the chain again. Well, you know, Pat, what to say about football teams. The offense sells the tickets and the defense wins the game.
We're going to get a look at this 3rd and short situation now. They're going on a quick count, a nice shot of the line charge. But see, defense is all penetration. There is nowhere for Marino to go there. It's just like a solid wall. That is very good defense. It looked like they were expecting that.
I think he's still short. And he is. He didn't get anything.
That is great, great defense.
That'll bring up 4th down. Isn't it good defense? 3 minutes, 11 seconds left to play in the game. Punter comes on. That's Greg Ganser. Who drives back the field, hit for the Tar Heels. Tar Heels want that football. They trail by a point. To affect the rush that has resulted in frequent block punts. They blocked 6 last year.
That's right. And their special teams set up 11 scores.
Poole is waiting. He's at the 24, 25. 30. Penalty marker. Penalty marker. 40-yard punt returned 8 yards, but a marker. North Carolina on the run back. Holding.
10 yards. 10 yards from here.
It's a 10-yard penalty, and it's from the spot of the foul, and that's going to really do something to their field position. It's going to give them a long way to go, and Dick Crum knows that.
Yeah, with only 2:43 left, it really puts you in a bind.
It does. To the 15-yard line.
On the return team, doing their kick, first down.
Okay, the goal line is 85 yards away. Ron Elkins has quarterback Carolina all night long. 2:43 on the clock. Elkins retreats. Incomplete to Kelvin Brown. Elkins is down. 2nd and 10 at the 15. Elkins is up.
That about says it right there, Lindsay. That's what it's been tonight. Good defense.
We've had lots of it. The penalties. A little shovel behind the line. Ethan Hort wrapped up by Coy Hill. At the 18-yard line, gain 3. 3rd and 7.
I'll tell you, Ethan Horton just showed some hands trying to catch this ball. They're trying to surprise him by throwing a little shovel pass, as it's called. Horton makes a one-handed stab and is just run down by a swarming Pittsburgh defense. You're going to see Troy Hill come in the picture here and just hit him low because Ethan Horton is 6'4", 214 pounds.
3rd down play coming. Horton's the tailback. Elkins. Intercepted by Pittsburgh at the 30-yard line. Rich Cranack. Cranack intercepted. 1:47 on the clock, and Pittsburgh has the ball at the 31-yard line. First interception, 2nd turnover against Carolina. Pittsburgh leads by a score of 7-6, and the Panthers have the ball now with 1 minute 47 seconds on the clock. About a month ago, we talked to Coach Dick Crum in North Carolina, and he was saying that regardless of whether his team won or lost the opener, he would have to specially prepare them so that it wasn't too important. Pointing out that if they won, he'd have to point out that that did not a season make, and if they lost, there were still 10 more games to be played. Fullback, McIntyre. Marlon McIntyre. Clock is ever running. 28-yard line. Gain of 3, 2nd down, 7 yards to go. 1:34, 33, 32. Minute and a half left. Each team has 2 times out remaining. Stops the clock at the 26-yard line. Chris Ward ran him out. Canada left 2 on the play. Well, Pat Hayden, we've always said that for our telecast, especially an opener, we wanted a close football game. Now, you can't say we haven't had a close football game.
Yeah, but we were hoping 48-47 or something like that.
Upended at the line of scrimmage, no gain. 4th and 5. Jack Perry made the tackle. So now it's going to be 4th down coming up. It'll be 5 yards to go at the 26. And now, with 53 seconds showing on the clock, it is Pittsburgh in possession at the 26-yard line of Carolina. 4th down and 5 yards to go. Pittsburgh leading by a score of 7-6. 53 seconds remaining. And the clock starts on the snap. Fourth down. Contact made before the snap. Clock didn't start. Rob Feda, I think it was. Procedure against Pittsburgh. Makes it 4th and 10 at 31.
Little procedure.
Pitt's
On the
had
offense.
13 penalties for 97. Carolina's had 15 for 135.
Referees are going to need a week off.
You see the time remaining to be played in set. Elkins, who played the entire game offensively at quarterback for North Carolina.
Played it well.
They go in punt formation now.
Danny Marino back there.
It is Marino who is the punter, the quarterback. Takes the pressure off because he might do anything. Marino punts. Well, they're going to be able to kill it deep at the 10-yard line. 43 seconds on the clock. A 26-yard punt by Danny Marino. So Carolina gets it, but they get the ball at their own 10-yard line. McIntyre downed it. Dick Crum along the sideline. Pittsburgh is leading by a score of 7-6.
Lindsey, before we get too far along, I want to thank you for putting up with me. I've been an albatross around your neck for the last month, and it's been really been a thrill working with you in my first telecast.
No albatross at all. It's been a great pleasure, and we're looking forward to a great year, Pat Aid. Elkins slips down, and so he is down, slipped on the turf, beyond the 2-yard line. Simply hit the deck as he dropped back, and now we're getting a timeout signal. Timeout, Carolina. Carolina, Atlanta. That will be their last timeout. They will have the ball second down and 18 at their own 2-yard line when play is resumed. North Carolina's lowest point output in a game since being blanked by Kentucky, 21-0 in 1976 in the Peach Bowl. You saw the slip there on the old part of the turf, the baseball part of the turf that hasn't been replaced. Almost an interception of an Elkins pass. Except they batted down Troy Hill. A little upset that he didn't hang on to it. He's from South River, New Jersey. It's going to make it 3rd and 18. At the 2. Elkins is 11 for 26, 103 yards, 1 interception. Only 3 for 12 in the second half. Anthony's in there now. Smith with a diving catch, a leaping catch. But not enough for the first down. Tim Lewis was the man there who made the tackle.
You're going to see Smith make a great catch and leaps, and I'll tell you, Tim Lewis really tries to take him in half there.
4th and 4. Diving catch at the 31. 2 seconds on the clock. 1 second. 1 second on the clock. They picked up the first down, which stops the clock in college football. Victor Harrison made the catch. However, there's a penalty marker back at the line of scrimmage.
Who's ball over there? White's got a completion over there. Let's go. Okay, White's go over here.
They're getting it spotted. White's ball over here means North Carolina.
Offside on the blue. White's trying. First down, White. Got a completed pass.
Simply means that Pittsburgh was offside. North Carolina declined the pass and took the play, which was a first down pass.
Hold it. Hold it. Offside. Defense. Refused. First down. I'm going to go on the snap.
He's going to start the clock on the snap, what he means. Goodyear blimp from overhead, Three River Stadium. 1 second on the clock. On the snap, which means they'll get it underway. Elkins, this is the last play of the ball game. Guns it, and it is complete across to the 45-yard line to Victor Harrison, and time has run out and the ball game is over. And the Pitt Panthers have won their opener, but a squeaker. Lots of defense on the part of North Carolina and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has won it 7-6. Head coach Maceo, that is the director of athletics alongside him now.
Win number 1 was a tough one for him.
First time that Foge has had this particular duty. He shakes hands with Dick Crum. And so the coaches meet at midfield. But the final score of this opening game for both schools, Pittsburgh 7, North Carolina 6. The Chevrolet most valuable player from Pittsburgh is Bill Moss, who had an outstanding game here tonight. And the Chevrolet most valuable player from North Carolina is Mike Wilcher, who similarly had an outstanding game. A check in the amount of $1,000 will be donated by Chevrolet to each college's general scholarship fund to further assist students in all chosen fields of academic endeavor. There was only one touchdown scored. Let's look at it.
Again, we see Dan Marino give a little play-action fake. It's down here in the 4-yard line. He's rolling to his right. He throws his ball on the run and delivers it right where it has to be to Brian Thomas. Brian scoots around the corner, avoids the tackler, and that's the only touchdown of the night.
Later tonight, join CBS Sports as we continue our coverage of the U.S. Open Tennis Championship from Flushing Meadow, New York. Once again, the final score, and this is the opening game for these two teams. University of Pittsburgh Panthers 7, University of North Carolina Tar Heels 6. This is Lindsey Nelson with Pat Hayden at Three Rivers Stadium saying this has been a CBS Sports presentation.